Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again. We'll begin with questions for the finalists. Back far left.
Hi, Tim.
If I would kindly ask you to please, state your name and media affiliation.
Lloyd Carroll, Queens Chronicle. Mahalo, Dillon. Make you feel at home here.
Appreciate you.
Obviously, name, image, likeness has been around college for a couple of years. I'm curious if you guys have friends who played other sports like baseball, tennis, soccer, where the professional compensation is not very high. Major League Baseball, particularly, the minor leagues, the pay is brutal. I'm curious if name, image, likeness, if you speak to athletes in other sports, has kept them in school, where they may have left school without NIL. I'm just curious, because NIL gets a lot of conversation, but I'm curious about that. If you do have friends in other sports where NIL has kept them in school.
I would say I have a couple friends, more back home in other sports or from, Hawaii that I've talked to. NIL isn't the first topic of discussion, but I think naturally everything's kind of helped every single person out in their own way. But I couldn't tell you directly from each different sports. But we do talk about our personal experiences and either laugh about it or talk through it. So,
Thanks, Dillon. Next question, far right, second row.
I'm Jack Lazarus from the Daily Emerald out in Eugene. This one's also for Dillon. I asked this to Bo last year here. What does it mean to you to represent Eugene and UO on this big stage?
Yeah, I understand I represent much more than myself, and I see it as a huge responsibility and something I'm extremely aware of, but also thoughtful of. And, I'm appreciative. The experience that I've had at UO has been a fun one, and it hasn't been a long one, but, the people and the experience you have, at least for me thus far, has been amazing, and connections and relationships that will last a lifetime. So I'm blessed. I love Eugene, and I love everything the University of Oregon stands for.
Next question's going to be back on the left-hand side.
That's right here. Kieran Hickey Simple, Overtime. I have a question for all four of you guys. Can you tell me about the suits, and then also, since you've been out here, what's the best food you've had out here?
All right, so why don't we start up here on the front, Dillon?
Yeah, the suit. Shout out J-Mac, got me right, with all the little details. And then, of course, the lei, just being from Hawaii and being able to, show that as well, what I represent. And then best food. Gosh, I ate a bagel this morning. I don't know where from. Everything bagel, bacon, egg, and cheese, but I think it's chopped cheese, I guess, here in New York.
Travis?
My suit, I just want to be different. I always come different. So this style that I found, and I decided to go with this style, and I wanted to be in the blue because blue is my favorite color. So definitely went with blue. And best food, I'll probably say a beef patty. I love beef patty, so whenever I get a chance to eat a beef patty, it's very special.
Ashton?
Yeah, suit by Pharaoh. Just try to do a different color. Something that'll make my skin pop. But yeah, real nice and smooth. Everybody up here look fly. I think we all look great. I'll say the best thing I had was probably the restaurant. I think it was the first day we got here. I don't remember, but I think it was called Tony Di Napoli. So it reminded me of my days back in Italy eating Italian food.
For myself, the suit, just a plain black suit from Boss. I'm a simple guy. I don't need all that. Then food, I went to Quality Meats last night. That's a pretty good steakhouse, so it was all right.
Next question, front row here on the left. Yep. Yeah, fine.
Errol Marks from the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is a question for Travis. Travis, what is it like being up for a Heisman Trophy and being obviously the last person to be the last Heisman Trophy winner to win as a cornerback, Charles Woodson? What is it like being compared or even being thought of as a Heisman Trophy winner of Charles Woodson?
It's very special. He's the only guy that went both ways, and, he had certain stacks in different categories. It's definitely special, but like you said, I'm not the only corner I want to be the only receiver that went over 1,000 yards, and also a defensive back that caught 4 interceptions plus in multiple games, had those stats to show up. But it's definitely special. It means a lot to me and my family. So
Next question, we're going to go here, first row here on the far right.
Nate Taylor, WRHU Sports. This one's for Ashton. You didn't receive many Power 5 school offers coming out of high school. Why do you believe you were so overlooked, and how has playing at Boise State helped you unlock your full potential?
Yeah, I feel mainly it's because, I moved overseas to Naples, and then I moved back to the U.S., and I wasn't playing running back. So sophomore year, I played defense, D-line, safety, linebacker. Junior year, we had a great running back, so I played slot receiver. And then finally, senior year, I had one of the best seasons by a running back in Texas football history. But I graduated early, so that, that back end of the year getting recruited, I didn't get all those schools coming after me. But obviously, it doesn't really matter. I was meant to go to Boise State.
Next question is going to be here on the front on the left-hand side.
This is Gary Jones from VMA Sports. This is for everyone on the panel. How did you prepare last night? Do y'all have anxiety? Or did you just prepare just like you prepare for a game for this Heisman nomination?
How about we'll start in the reverse? Let's start with Cam this time.
I think you just get into bed and you close your eyes, go to sleep. Hope to wake up the next day, and you just go. I live my life day by day, so can't really prepare for moments like this. The only way you can is make plays on the field. So we all put ourselves in a position to be here, and we all deserve it.
Ashton?
Yeah, I was just chilling with the fam, enjoying the moment. But I feel like it's kind of like a game day. Once you kind of put your attire on, put your suit on, you feel good. The nerves kind of leave you, and I practiced my speech last night. So make sure I'm ready when I get up there.
Travis?
I'm not gonna lie, I watched some fishing videos and went to sleep. That's all I did.
I had dinner with the family. Haven't seen them in some time, at least all of them to get together. So we were chilling at the hotel, restaurant, danced a little bit in front of the band. Felt loose. But kind of like what Cam said, there's no way to prepare in terms of it being our first time. So we're kind of learning as we're going.
Next question is going to be back center on the right-hand side.
Yogi Roth with Big Ten Network and Y Option Podcast. I'm curious for all of you, if you look at where you started and now where you are, and tonight there'll be millions of young athletes watching you, if you could boil it down to a sentence and give each one of those a little bit of advice around what matters most to get to the seat that you're in now for the 14-year-old that might be watching you and trying to dream of one day being you.
Dillon?
I would say the edge or the difference. And, I think you look at all of our stories, it's very unique. But one thing, I've seen that has been a common theme is everyone's had an edge, to their game and how they play. And that's just watching from afar. But when you get around them and then you figure out that's the difference between us versus, whoever it may be. So it's been a pleasure being around these guys as well.
Travis?
I'll say don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. Keep grinding, stay focused, and go get it.
Question?
Yeah, to me, I would say trust the process. There's going to be days where you get discouraged, where you don't feel like all the goals you want to accomplish, you can. But I'm sure that's happened to each and every one of us sitting up here today. But for every one of us, it took us a process to get to where we're at now.
I just think you have to be a extremely competitive person. You have to be a confident person, and you just got to believe in God and everything take care of itself.
Next question is going to be in the back on the left. Oh, sorry. Back center.
No
Apologies.
worries. Perry Sook, Pix 11 Sports, NYC. Question for all four of you guys, but definitely the quarterbacks. Looking like both of our local NFL teams here are going to have some high draft picks come next draft season. Now that you guys have been in New York a couple days, could you guys see yourself? What do you think about playing here for the New York Jets or Giants?
We'll go in the reverse this time. Cam.
If Joe want to come get me, he knows what's best. The tape says it all. You're going to get a competitor out of me. The city of New York, I won't be in the city probably ever. I'll stay in New Jersey for all day, every day. It's too much out here. And so, I'll just be vibing and, just trying to make some football plays for the Giants.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. I got a bunch of family out here. Shout out to my Haitians, all my Zoes. Yeah, and, you would get a great player, amazing running back and, a leader on the team. And, I feel before I even, step foot on the field, I'll make the team better by my presence in the locker room.
Travis? Skip that.
Sure.
Dill?
No, I would just say the tape. The tape doesn't lie. I think that's true for everyone. But more importantly, the person. I think once you get to a certain level, the talent may become equivalent. And like I always say, the edge, the difference, what is it? It's the people. It's the discipline, who that person is on a day-to-day basis. So the tape.
All right, next question right here in the center.
Kaz Clayton with New Era Prep. This question is for Ashton. I mean, you could have hit the portal for more money, for an NIL. You chose to stay with Boise State. What does loyalty mean to you?
Yeah, I think loyalty means everything. It's something, that's not too common in people nowadays. And no, nothing against none of the guys up here. Everybody's process and, journey is different. So nothing wrong to guys who enter the portal and all types of things. But for me, everything that I wanted to do, I could do at Boise State. They believed in me before anybody else did. And I wasn't going to leave just for some more money. I made a bunch of money this year by what I did on the field.
Next question is going to be in the back left.
JTS KTVB Boise, Idaho. Dillon, this one's for you. Yesterday, Dan Patrick kind of backed you into corner.
Yeah, that's Dan's fault. Let me start with that.
I get that.
He's getting old a little bit. He's getting old.
Within your answer, though, you mentioned, talking about Ashton, about it sounds like you had some sympathy or some understanding about the group of five. Yep. Could you elaborate on that a little bit? And then what was the buzz maybe around the Oregon locker room after you guys played Ashton earlier this year?
Yeah, I'll start with this. We all came from a lower level of football up until the point we are now. Of course, Ashton's a little different that way, but I think you realize maybe a difference in resources. At least I felt that from, my experiences and, just a different level of football, But time and time again, you've seen teams compete and play really well, like Boise came to Oregon this year. And like I said, I've been a part of teams that have gone to Power 4, Power 5, programs and beat them, So football is football, but more importantly, I think you do realize the difference in resources or difference in staff or whatever it may be.
Right here in the center on the right.
Nice. Lincoln Roach, CU Independent. So this one's for Travis, Cam, and Dillon. All of you played in new conferences this season. What was that adjustment like for you?
I would say the biggest adjustment for me. Well, one, there was no real adjustment. I think the difference between the Pac-12 and the ACC is in the Pac-12 you got to bring it every week. That's in some different cases. In the ACC, like if you're in Pac-12, no one really knows about Wake Forest. They're not known for a football school. Schools in that category, and I would say just the adjustment is that you just got to be on time with your teammates. For myself as a quarterback with the receiving core, with the running backs and their option routes, just more of a timing because the speed at every Power 4, it's the same. It may be a little bigger O lineman, D lineman, but at the end of the day, the speed is the exact same.
No difference for us. We just got to go out there and play football. Football is going to still be football at the end of the day.
I would just say the difference in the three conferences I've been, probably just geographical location. But other than that, football is football, like Travis said, and you do have to adjust. But each conference, I think, has uniquely its own DNA, and that's kind of because of you watching teams in that conference who's had success against this team. So there may be some repeats in terms of scheme, but for the most part, it's just new locations.
Next question's going to be on the left-hand side, second row.
How you doing? RJ Walker with the Players Tribune. I got a question for Travis. With starting your career at Jackson State, and they just won the Celebration Bowl today. I know you had a hectic day, but curious to see if you had a chance to take a peek at that and if you had anything to say around their victory.
Yeah, I definitely watched the game. I got to stay up with the boys. So it's still players there that making plays on the field that I was playing with when I was there. So I definitely stayed with the game. I made sure I watched every quarter, made sure I watched them win. So definitely a shout out to my boys. Keep going.
Next question here on the right-hand side. Thank you.
Scott Proctor at DMVR. Trav, Shador has talked to us a couple of times this season about how it was a risk for you, so to speak, to go to Jackson State, go to Colorado when you really could have went anywhere. How would you describe, that, so to speak, risk that you took and how it's kind of paid off for you on a day like today?
You said how it kind of paid off for me. Look where I'm at. Paid off very good. The risk, I don't think it was a risk, man. It was God's plan. Everything that I wanted to do, I'm accomplishing now. So I'm just happy to do what I did back in those times, and I'm in the right spot now.
Next question, far right-hand side.
Aaron Diaz, WRHU. This is for Travis. Travis, you obviously are part of a new era in Colorado football. So what does it mean to you to not only be to represent this award for your team, for yourself, and your team too?
It's gonna mean a lot. Last year was 4-8. Now, I'm holding up a trophy a year later. Never thought I'd be in this position, but also, I worked so hard for it, and my teammates helped me to get here.
Front.
Zach Gelb, Infinity Sports Network. Cam, just wondering, your story is a real special one. 0-star recruit, Incarnate Word. Last year at Washington State, you said you felt like you could be a Heisman Trophy finalist one day. Just how do you kind of, even with the journey through Miami, just put it into words how you went from a 0-star recruit to sitting here in New York City?
It's been special. It's been special for myself, my family, especially the days where my dad would email D3, D2 schools. We would never hear back from him, but I knew his day would come. I have elite work ethic. I believe in God, and I have trust in my teammates. So, if you work hard, a lot of stuff will pay off for you.
Folks, we're going to do 2 more questions. Back to the center.
Mark Wilson, Team MBS Media. How do you guys feel about the new college playoff format?
We'll start with you, Dillon.
Yep. I love it. I think it's a lot of fun for everyone, fans, players, coaches included. This is what everyone wanted. The big time matchups and big environments. More playoff games. So I don't think this is where it'll end either. So
it's definitely a great opportunity for more teams to get in. So I definitely love it. Get to watch football a little longer this year.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for more teams to, get in the playoffs and, compete, and especially the group of 5 schools to have a chance to get in there.
I think it's good, too. I just think they need to find a sweet spot on how many teams they let in, whether it's 16 or 24, just like the FCS. And I think that's where they need to, look more to the FCS and, have the perfect amount of teams in there.
This is going to be the last question, but after this, I'm going to kindly ask everyone to just stay in the room for a moment. Last question here on the right-hand side.
It's Jason Jones from Sports Illustrated. It's for all of you. You've all achieved something by simply sitting at this table, and you've probably been asked 100 times what this award would mean to you. But more specifically, what would it mean for the people and the places you've come from?
We're going to start on the reverse with Cam.
I honestly think this award would mean more to my family in West Columbia, Texas, than what it would mean to me. At the end of the day, I love playing football. That's all I want to do with my life. That's all I want to be known for. So it'll be a huge accomplishment for myself. But, my family, they're the real reason why I'm up here.
Yeah, it would mean a lot to me, of course. But kind of just like Kim was saying, my family who's, put a lot and invested into me from a young age, see me grow up, do everything that I'm doing. It's a real special moment for all of us.
Definitely my family. I'm going to be the first person in, my family to get to college and get through college and get to the NFL. So it's definitely going to mean more to my family, more than probably back home. But it's going to mean a lot to back home, too. I'll be the second, I think, trophy to come out of there, if I win it, if I end up winning it tonight. But definitely my family, most importantly, they're definitely going to love it.
Who was the first? I'm curious. Oh, shoot. I would say family, and then also just everyone that puts in, the work to let us have a great experience. It's everyone in the training staff, equipment staff, our coaches, the university, all to let us play the game we love. So I know that I represent more than just myself.
Dillon, would you mind just repeating the question you asked Travis just now?
What'd you ask me?
Who was the first?
Oh, I was just asking who was the first, but it's Lamar Jackson. So
Perfect. All right, folks, before anyone moves, the next portion of the media event, we're going to across the hall to the Harlem Room for individual Q&A. I would kindly ask everybody to stay here for 1 second. There are a number of additional guests that are non-credential media outside. I'm going to kindly ask our security detail to make their way over to the Harlem Room to make sure that room is clean and secure. And when you enter the Harlem Room, please just have your credential ready. Show it to them for entry into that room.
We need to do another.
Okay, so like yesterday, guys, I'm respecting the local media that we got here, so I'm going to go around the room with them first, and then we'll hit some others. Adam, you want to start us?
Travis, you got a chance to go to Adidas today. Talk a little bit about that experience and your new partnership with them.
I don't think I can speak on it right now, so okay. School going through the issue, so we ain't gonna talk about that.
Another one.
What stood out to you about your experience here in New York so far?
It's been very fun. It's cold outside, but it's been very fun. Got to meet the rest of the guys, and we've been having a fun time, having little conversations here and there.
Romy, you got one?
Yeah. Travis, yesterday when they had you take pictures by the trophy, you didn't want to touch it.
Yeah, nah.
Is that superstitious?
Yeah, superstitious. I'm definitely not gonna touch the trophy until I know it's mine.
Lincoln, you got one?
Hey, Trav, you mentioned you wanted to bring a lot of your teammates out. How many of your teammates ended up coming out to support?
I don't know. I didn't get an exact number, but hopefully a good amount of them can.
What does it mean to you to have those guys fly all the way out here just to support you win an award?
I mean, I've been going to war with them boys for a minute. So, fall camp and all the games that we have played, all the practices, all the weightlifting, all the stuff that we have done to get this far, they helped me get here. I didn't just get here by myself.
Brian, you got one?
Hey, Travis, just curious, when you were going through the recruiting process, was there any other coach that said they would allow you to play both ways?
Nah, no other coach but Coach Brown.
So what did that mean to you? Obviously you wanted to do it, but why did you do that much? Coach Brown let you do it?
Because I trust him. I know he did it because I know he wasn't gonna tell no lie. So I definitely trusted him. I know he did it. So it definitely couldn't be no impossible factor that I couldn't do it.
Go ahead.
Yep. Hey, Troy. What's up? Hey, so come back. We were talking.
We've been hearing about if you can play two ways in the NFL. You want to play offense and defense. What would be an ideal situation for you in your playing time at the professional level?
Ideal situation? Me just playing both sides of the ball.
All right, Troy. So Shador said if you win, he gonna hold the trophy with you. You gonna let him come up and hold it with you?
Definitely. Why wouldn't I?
Okay.
Lincoln, go ahead.
Yeah, so you've been talking a lot about fishing today. Do you have a favorite fishing spot in Colorado?
I go to private ponds and private lakes, so really can't even tell you where they at. So I just know drop my boat in and go catch fish.
I'm gonna piggyback off that. Do you do that pregame? You said you did that last night to kind of get ready for this. Do you do that pregame as well? Just watch fishing videos and calm yourself down? Or?
Yeah, I just do normal stuff. My normal stuff is watch YouTube and watch fishing and watch film and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely watch a lot of fishing.
What message do you have for your 10-year-old son today now that you're here as a Heisman finalist? What would you say?
Keep going. The journey don't stop here. Because I think when I was 10, I won the Little League championship game. So yeah, I would definitely tell him keep going. There's many more to come.
Travis, with everything moving so fast for you in your collegiate career right now, have you really had time to sit and really just kind of bask in the moment that you're at right now, that you're a Heisman finalist?
Not yet. I've been nervous, but today the nerves kind of leaving, kind of going away, which I knew would happen. But I definitely didn't get to sit down and realize where I'm at yet. I'm just staying with the flow.
What's up, Travis? So you were on the cover of the College Football 2025, and you could possibly be on the next game as well, Coach. I think that would be pretty nice. What are your thoughts on that?
Just been on the cover, as a little kid, those covers mean a lot to us. We used to go to GameStop, pick up the games, be able to hold the game. So I definitely got a couple copies that I'm definitely going to keep. But it definitely means a lot. I love being on the cover. Seeing myself on the cover of the game means a lot to me.
Trev, you were dynamic on both sides of the ball. Is there a sport you think you couldn't play? And also, what's your NBA comp?
A sport that I couldn't play, I could play all of them. NBA comp, I like KD, but I'm going with John Morant.
I'm about to see you on that golf course.
Wait, hold on. Nah, Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with. Hey.
All right, Brian.
Hey, Travis. Ashton was saying that he practiced his speech. Have you written the speech? Have you practiced the speech?
Nah, I don't practice the speech. I don't write nothing down. You know, I go off the top of the dome. You know, I like when people go ahead and, you know, make it hard for me.
John, go ahead.
Hey, Travis. I know, Travis, I know that you're just going through it and you're experiencing it for the first time. But have you been able to appreciate today the runway to this moment that you'll never have again?
Have I been able to appreciate today? Well, I ain't sit back and, you know, realize how everything is going yet, but I definitely appreciate today. I've been a little tired, a little exhausted. That's why I haven't been talking much since today, but I've been good. You know, I'm excited to see where I'm at, and hopefully I get to bring home the trophy.
This is Gabriel Jones from BMA Sports. I know we talked yesterday, and I talked about Jackson State. They won. Last time I seen you in action live was at the Celebration Bowl when Jackson State played North Carolina State University. Now I hear a lot of these people saying that, you know, they're insinuating by you going both ways. That's absurd. But I think in the future, by you being the trendsetter, you know, do you think you'll be able to play both ways, and it's going to be something of the past eventually when you started?
I mean, I can't tell you. I can't tell the future, and I definitely don't know who's going to be able to do it next. So hopefully there is somebody to come in the next couple of years or next year, hopefully, and do what I've done.
Scott, go ahead.
Hey, Trev, Jamar Chase and Malik Neighbors came out this week and said that, you know, you should be the Heisman. How cool is it to kind of have the respect of some of your future peers that you're going to be, you know, facing and seeing at the next level?
It's definitely good. It feels great, you know, having guys that I look up to, you know. And I'm probably like 3 years behind Jamar Chase, 4 years behind Jamar Chase, and a year behind Malik Neighbors. And it feels good to know that those guys recognize my game.
Romy, go ahead.
Travis, funny you mentioned Jamar Chase because he was also talking about everything you do, and he said it's more than just the skill; it's the want to and the mindset to play that many plays, that snaps, and be so dominant. Can you talk about the mindset to want to do what you do?
I mean, I love football. You know, my mindset is to go out there and dominate however I can, and however I can help the team, go out there and do it. So if I had to kick the ball, I'd be kicking the ball too. So definitely love football. You know. That's kind of my mindset. Go out there and dominate. You only got a couple hours on the field, so why not go and play your hardest?
Travis, growing up in Boynton Beach, Florida, obviously South Florida, we produce some great talent every year. What would you say the biggest thing that you've learned growing up in South Florida, and what prepared you to play at the elitist levels?
Hard times don't last forever. You know, those were my rough days, rough times, but I was still out there going to work and, you know, grinding and just being a different type of athlete. One thing I can remember, you know, all Florida athletes love each other, and all Florida schools love the athletes. So when I was younger, I used to go work out with the high schoolers. When I was about, I think, 9, 10, my grandma worked at the high schools, and, you know, she helped me out. You know, that helped me out a lot, you know, going out there and being able to dominate with those guys and, you know, train.
Over here, John, go ahead.
When you look at that trophy, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're a fan, if they have your skill or if they don't, it makes a person feel some type of way. When you see that, you get to touch it. I mean, is that special?
I mean, I haven't touched the trophy yet, so I can't even tell you how I feel, how to touch it, because I don't want to touch it unless it's mine. So I'll get back to you on that one.
That's right. So at any point when you're at Jackson State and before you guys came over to Colorado, did Coach Bonner talk about this moment being possible?
We've been talking about this moment being possible. You know, being at Jackson State, you know, we thought it would be possible for me to get it there, but we only spent 1 year. We didn't let the time develop. So we definitely talked about it. We knew it could happen, and it's finally our dreams coming true.
Go ahead.
I feel as though you've always had this really deep belief in who you are and your abilities. How has that grown, and how has Coach Prime impacted that to a way that maybe has made you a different man than you were when you first met?
I kind of say I got an old soul. I've been like this since I was little. I always had to be the bigger brother. The bigger person to go ahead and walk away and be the bigger person. Always do the right thing. So I feel like it really didn't matter where I went. I was gonna be the same person. But Coach Prime helped me out a lot. I understand a lot more things. I understand how to carry myself more. And just having Coach Prime in my corner means a lot.
Ryan, go ahead. Travis, I'm just curious. You mentioned kicking. Have you talked to Coach Prime about maybe kicking an extra point or field goal in the Alamo?
No, but now that you bring that up, I'm gonna go ahead and practice so he can sit and practice, and then he'll probably let me do it.
We've seen videos. You can do it.
Yeah, I definitely can kick. I just gotta practice with it. That's all I'm saying.
Adam, go ahead.
Sorry,
Adam.
Travis, you've seen Isaiah Harch do a little two-way stuff as well. Do you think you inspired him? Have you had any conversations with him about what that takes?
No, the craziest part is I never talked to him about it. I see him with a great jersey on, but I never said anything about him. First year we got there, they put him on. He was on offense, and then he went to defense, and then he kept going back and forth. So I never said anything about it because I know it takes a lot for him to do it. So I don't want to get in his ear and tell him how to do it. I want him to figure it out himself. And he's been looking at me for the last 2 years, and he understands how to do it. And he's been balling out. We haven't unleashed him yet, but when we unleash him, you'll be able to see it.
Thank you, Travis.
Outside of